Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So in my previous videos, I already discussed many big data ETL pipeline design with external stage of Snowflake and different AWS services, right? Like for example, I discussed suppose one particular CSV file is coming in S3 bucket. That S3 file should trigger one AWS Lambda function which will be used for simple data cleaning and data processing purpose. Then the Lambda will load the processed data in an external stage. Basically, that is another S3 bucket. From that S3 bucket via SQSQ, which is another very important AWS service, it will go to Snowflake table via Snowflake pipe. So this kind of automation I already discussed. Apart from that, if we don't want to use the facility of Snowflake pipe for auto ingestion, we have this particular pipeline also, which I discussed in my previous video, that is directly use Lambda to load the data in Snowflake. Like for example, in an S3 bucket, the data is coming and that data we have to load in a Snowflake table. That time in that Lambda function, we can create a Snowflake connector, and using that connector we can create a cursor for our Snowflake database, and that cursor can execute the copy into command which will load the data from external S3 bucket to the Snowflake table. So these kind of automations and big data pipelines I already discussed. So most of the time, whether you are using Snowflake pipe or you are using simple Lambda as data loader for our Snowflake table, the most important part is in copy command, right? That's why I thought to discuss something more about this copy command so that you will be having much more clear idea in working with this particular command. You can apply some transformations, simple transformations before loading the data in your Snowflake table also. That will be helpful for your ETL pipeline design also, right? That's why I thought to discuss something more on this copy command. So today in this video, we are going to explore copy command in Snowflake in detail. Okay. So let us first check the simple copy command which I already discussed. Like for example, we are having a table called video in the Ramu database in public schema. That time suppose we want to load the data from an external stage. Suppose that stage name is SnowSimple, which is present in Ramu database only in the public schema, and having file format as CSV, we can specify separately. That time to load the data, we can simply execute this command, copy into video table from this particular external stage and specify the file format. That's it, right? So first we will check this particular one. We'll have a recap. We'll upload one ID Setosa CSV file and we'll load that in destination table. Okay, so for that I'll be going back to my AWS management console. I'll be going to S3, and first in the step 1 we'll be creating an S3 bucket on which we'll be creating our external stage. Okay, so basically I will give the name demo testing Snowflake, like that, some name I am giving, and then here I am directly going to create bucket by keeping all the properties as default. Okay, so here our demo testing Snowflake, this particular bucket is getting created. Okay, so next step will be I will be going to AWS management console in a new tab, and here I'll be going to my security credentials and I'll be creating one access key. Okay, I'll go to access keys, create new access key and download the key file. So make sure you are not sharing this particular access key and secret key to anyone. I am just showing this for demo purpose. After this video, I will be deleting this particular one. So make sure you are keeping these details as secret. So we are having access key and secret key. Now we can create the external stage on this particular S3 bucket, right? So I am going to my Snowflake. Okay, now here you can see that in our current worksheet, these particular 4 databases are present. So first what I will do, I will drop the database Ramu on which we are going to work. So Ramu successfully dropped. If I just refresh this, you will no longer see that Ramu database. Then here we are newly creating one Ramu database. Okay, database Ramu successfully created. We are using the Ramu database. Okay, right. If I refresh this here, you will see the Ramu database also, which is having 2 schemas by default. One is information schema, which will be containing all the metadata, and one will be public schema, which we can use basically to create tables. Okay, we can create some other schema also in this particular database and create tables on that, but I am just using public schema only for explanation purpose. Then what is the next step? here I am first creating one table. Okay, so let me first show you our data set. Okay, so I'll be going to this particular copy command, what folder I created. First let me show you id status up. So if you see, this is particular one CSV file which is having 5 columns. Okay, so 4 columns are double type, sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and last one is basically string type. Okay, so we will be uploading that in our S3 location, and using external stage we will apply copy command, and that data will be loaded to our table. Okay, so here if you see, we have executed this particular table creation code. Create table if not exist video. Sepal length, sepal width, petal width, all are basically double type, and species is kind of something which is a string type. Okay, so if you see our this particular one, this is having name as class. Okay, let me change that. Instead of species we will use class. Okay, right, and then let us just run this particular code, and table video successfully created. Okay, right, and then here we are creating a file format like CSV, type is CSV. Okay, file delimiter, comma, skip header 1 because we are having headers, and then field optionally include by double quotation, all these default values we are giving, and we are creating our CSV file format. So all these codes I'll be providing in the description box or in the comment section. No need to worry about the code. Then in the next step we are basically creating this stage. Create or replace stage ramu.public.snowsimple URL. So here we have to specify the complete URL. So I'll be going to my bucket, and I'll be copying this particular bucket name and s3:// this is our bucket name. Okay, credentials, we have to specify AWS key ID. I'll be going to this particular place, I'll be copying this particular key. Okay, right, and here I'll be pasting, and AWS secret key, I'll be going here, and here I'll be taking this particular secret key. Okay, right. So here our Snowsimple stage, external stage is basically created. Then we can use list command to see what are the files present. Currently no files present, so it is not showing anything. Okay, right. So what we can do, maybe suppose let me upload something. Okay, so here I can go to add files, and first I will be uploading id status of file. Okay, click on OK, and then here click on upload. Right, it is uploading. It will take some time depending on file size, and it is uploaded. So if you see, id statusa.csv file is available. Right, now we are not creating snow pipe, right? So if we do select start from video, currently we are having no data. All we need to do to load the data from S3 to Snowflake, we need to execute this copy command. Copy into table, which is our destination table, from this particular stage. File format also we are specifying. So we will run this one time, right? And see, it is taking some time to load the data, and soon it will be completing. Okay, let's wait for that. And see, here it is showing that is no error we are getting. This is the file. Okay, id statusa.csv, which is loaded. Row parts 50 rows, row loaded 50 rows only. That is, for not a single row we have encountered error, right? Now if we do select start from video, we will be getting 50 records. Okay, 50 rows, because if you see our this particular iris statusa csv file which we basically uploaded, you see there are total 51 records, and first one is basically header, so actually there are total 50 rows present, right? So it is loading successfully. So that is basically normal copy command, which we already aware of that. Nothing new in this particular command till now, right? Now what we will do, we will try to execute copy command with specified files. Okay, why we need to use this one, let me explain first. Okay, so suppose this is our S3 bucket, where let me upload another file. Okay, and this time I am basically uploading one image. Okay, this particular image is present, and here I am opening that, and here I will simply click on upload. Okay, right, so it is uploading. Now if you see in our S3, one image is present and one CSV data which we already uploaded that is present. So if I show you list of ramu.public.snowsimple, it will be basically listing all the files present in that particular S3 location, right? That's why it is showing that JPG file also as well as the CSV file also. But we no need to load this particular one, right? But if you not specify something and simply execute this command, it will try to load all the files which is not loaded earlier. Okay. So iris.setosa.csv already loaded, no issue. But this particular is not loaded, so it will try to load this one in our table. But this is an image file. It will not at all match, or the loading is not possible in our table, right? So it should throw error, right? So let us execute that first. So if you run this command, let's see what we are getting. Number of columns in file does not match that to that of corresponding table. Okay. So here we are clearly getting for this particular file, that is atrueLeader.jpg, because this is an image file. Obviously copying is not possible. Now it might happen that where you are creating external stage in that S3 location, the S3 bucket can be used to upload many different kinds of files, but you need to load only some specific files. That time you can specify which files you want to load using that copy command. Okay, so for that you can execute like this way: copy into your table from external stage name, file format, whatever file format you can specify. Till then, same code like earlier, just we are adding files iris.setosa.csv inside single quotation. Okay, right? So let us do like that way and let us see whether we are getting error or not. Okay, so here I will be adding files and here iris.setosa.csv, right? Inside parenthesis I am specifying, and let us run this particular one. So here it is throwing error. Why it is throwing? Syntax error line 1 position 103. Oh sorry, here I forget to give equal to. So make sure whatever files you are mentioning inside parenthesis, please give equal to, then open the parenthesis and specify all the files with comma separated values using inside single quotation. Okay, so let us execute that now. So see, it is executed successfully. So here it is showing that file was loaded before. That's why it is not loading iris.setosa.csv by default. Okay. So now you see that error is gone. This particular copy command is no longer trying to load this particular atrueLeader.jpg file, because here we are mentioning that load only these files. Okay. Right. So I hope you are getting it. Suppose you want to upload multiple files. Suppose let me take one more file which is iris varchar. Okay, I will open this particular one and I'll upload this. Okay, right? And then here I will go to here. So basically currently 3 files present. So suppose I want to load iris.setosa, iris varchar, but not atrueLeader.jpg. So that time what we can do? Files, already we have mentioned one, then give comma, inside single quotation specify another file which is iris varchar.csv, right? So let us execute this copy command. So if you see that if you just make this bigger, for iris.setosa, it is showing that file was loaded before. But for iris varchar, it is the first time loading. So all the 50 records are loaded from iris varchar CSV file to our destination table, which is select start from video. Okay, right? So see, now currently it is having 100 rows. Okay, because iris.setosa is one CSV file which is having 50 rows. Iris varchar is another CSV file which is having 50 more rows. So 50 plus 50 total 100, right? So I hope you understood how you can mention the list of files which you want to load alone in the copy command execution, not the other files, right? So that's what I tried to explain here. If you see that in lab part we have seen that we uploaded atrueLeader.jpg which is an image file and tried to execute the copy command. We got error because the schema was not matching. That's why we tried to specify the files like this way: iris.setosa.csv, comma, iris varchar.csv, like that. Make sure you are giving equal to sign. Okay, right? And then the next concept what I want to discuss, like for example, if you see this particular copy command, if I execute once more, you will see here in file error, file was loaded before. Okay, that is copy command is working in an intelligent way. If some file is copied from external stage to the original table earlier, then it will not load that again. Okay, this is very interesting feature. And how that is maintained? That is maintained basically using checksum. So checksum is some concept which we generally study in our BTech engineering course while studying computer communication or network security, this kind of subjects, right? So you just consider that that is basically an indicator. So for any single file, it will be having a particular checksum, and if the file is not modified, that time checksum will not change. Okay, so suppose one particular file is loaded, so that for that particular file, whatever checksum, Snowflake will remember, okay, fine, I have already loaded this particular checksum related file. Okay, now next time when we will again apply the copy command, as the checksum is not changed because the backend file is not modified, so the copy command will exclude those files because their related checksum is already got loaded. Okay, so to reload one of the file which we already loaded, we have to forcefully change the checksum. Okay, that's what is mentioned here. Unless you explicitly specify force true, which is one of the parameter in copy command, okay, then the command ignores stage data files that were loaded into the table earlier. Okay, so unless you explicitly specify force true, it will ignore all the files which is loaded from stage to the table earlier. To reload the data, you must either specify force equal to true, which will change the checksum of that file. So as a result, those files will be again loaded, or what you can do, you can change the file itself. So if you change the file, then automatically checksum will be changed. Or if you have not changed the backend file, then also you want to reload, that time you have to use this particular parameter, force equal to true. Okay, so if you use force equal to true, that time checksum will be changed. Okay, so it will generate a new checksum, and all the files from external stage to the table will be automatically reloaded. Okay, so if you have not modified the backend file, and if you are using force equal to true, that time it is obvious you will be getting duplicate records, right? Which is quite obvious. Reloading happens. Okay, so for example, if you want to forcefully reload all the files present in your external stage, that time you just specify force equal to true. Let me show you that also. So currently, if you see, it is not having any duplicate, it is having 100 records. All I will do in this particular part, I'll be doing force equal to true. Okay, right? Now here I will simply execute this particular command. Okay, we'll run this, and here you will see that again these particular two files, which is varginica.csv, cetusa.csv, which was already loaded earlier, again they are reloaded. Okay, see, rows loaded 50-50. So if I run now, select start from video, earlier it was having 100 records, currently you will be getting 200 records, because here we are basically reloaded all the files. So obviously duplicacy will come. So this is the power of force equal to true. So it will reload, or it will basically change the checksum so that all the files will be reloaded whatever loaded earlier. Be aware, be very careful while using this particular command, otherwise it will make huge record duplicacy. Okay, so this is another important concept which I wanted to discuss, and the last part is loading using pattern matching. Okay, so for example, you consider that you want to specify multiple files which has to be loaded from external stage to the table. That time, if the list is very big, explicitly mentioning those values in these files is a very difficult job, right? That time we can use the power of regular expression or pattern matching. So all you need to do in this particular copy command, okay, primarily you need to remember these three symbols related to regular expression. One is dot, which can be used for any character matching, star, which is basically 0 or more repetition of previous character, and this particular square bracket, any character within the bracket. These are the symbols which are used in regular expression. Just a quick recap I have given. I hope when you studied Java or Python, fundamental programming language, you already understood this. So for example, if you're using some pattern matching, that time you can use this kind of code. Copy into table from stage file format. Then all you need to do pattern equal to dot star dot csv. So what it is indicating? Dot star. Dot star is indicating 0 or more repetition of any character. Okay, Star is basically 0 or more repetition of previous character, and dot is basically mentioning any character. That means using dot star we are trying to mention 0 or more repetition of any characters. Okay, that can be more than one character also, right? Now this particular square bracket is mentioning what? That dot should be there. So this dot is nothing but dot extension for the file format. So this is kind of, if you want to mention this kind of file extension which has to be matched as a single character, that time you can use this square bracket, right? That's what is mentioned here. Any character within the bracket it will try to match. And then CSV. Okay, so CSV is the file format with which it will end, right? So you should not specify this particular file extension dot without this square bracket. If you mention without this square bracket, it will consider, okay, that is basically any character. So to distinguish between any character and this particular file extension dot, you should mention inside square bracket, so that while doing the pattern matching, Snowflake will understand, okay, this particular dot has to come. Okay, this is not any character. This is original dot symbol which is pressed using keyboard. Okay, this is not representing any character, right? So that is the simple copy command. I hope you are getting it. So let me show you that also. So due to earlier demo force true, we got duplicated records. What we can do, we can execute delete from video. Okay, or you can truncate this table also, not an issue, right? So delete from video, when we are doing 200 records deleted. Now if we do select start from video, we are having no records basically. Now here let me mention the pattern parameter. Okay, so pattern, so just as it is, you can specify pattern equal to dot star. Okay, right? So pattern equal to dot star. So 0 or more replication of any character, and then dot CSV is the extension. But this dot will basically, Snowflake can get confused with this dot, whether that is a file extension dot or this is representing any character, right? So to avoid that confusion, we can specify inside this square bracket. So this will indicate that this particular dots must be matched, because this particular square bracket is indicating any character within the bracket it will try to match when doing pattern matching. Okay, right? So now if we execute this command, what should happen? That all those files will be copied which will be having basically extension .csv. And if you see our S3 location, which is basically our external stage, is pointing to here, this file and this file, these last two files having .csv extension, and this particular JPG file will be filtered out while doing pattern matching and it will not impact, right? So we can execute this particular command and see copy executed with 0 files processed. If I execute select start from video, it is not showing anything. So while doing delete, maybe that particular it is not working. Let me truncate the table, truncate table video. Okay, statement executed successfully. So if you do now select start from video, it is empty, and then here copy into, if we do, let's see, and see it is getting copied. So delete will not delete in such a way that copy command will re-execute the already loaded files. Okay, so for that better use you truncate, right? And then you see ID is Varchinika and ID is Setosa. These two alone are loaded, 50-50 records. So if you do select star from video, you will be getting 100 records, right? So these are some fundamental concepts which I wanted to discuss as part of copy command. One is pattern, one is specifying files with comma separated values, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this particular session. In my upcoming videos, I am going to discuss how you can apply simple transformation logic while executing this copy command, okay, or while loading the data from external stage to our table. That will be very helpful in big data pipeline design also. So this is all for this video. Thank you for watching.